2025, at least on the West Coast of the United States, it still is. I wasn't planning to do a broadcast tonight because I did one earlier today, but I caught a headline tonight and I thought it would be another good opportunity to possibly wake up a person or two to why show business is deadly business. And without further ado, let's just get into it. Let's talk about the singer that burned up in her house on the Illuminati's 249th birthday, one day before the anniversary of her big breakout song that came out May 2nd, 95. And she had another huge song that year, Supermodel. And I'm going to show you what's very interesting about a German supermodel who was at the pinnacle of her career at the same time. I'm talking about Claudia Schiffer, who's born in Germany, not far from Bavaria, where the Illuminati was founded. And how this singer who did the song I Kissed a Girl, as well as Supermodel, her two big songs from 95, how her death comes on the Illuminati's 249th birthday, 249 days after Claudia Schiffer's birthday. And again, we've seen a lot of young models go over the years, a lot of young entertainers go over the year. And I hope I'm wrong about this, but again, this is how these people operate. And I don't know what we have to do to get the world to wake up to it. Before we get into Jill Sobule's passing, let me just remind how this little system, this Kabbalistic system works. If you're in the US all day, you've heard about Mike Waltz. Mike Waltz. You see how he has these numbers assigned to his names? This is the practice of coding numbers into words that comes from Cabala. There's 4 base ciphers of the English language. I didn't make this up. I learned about it in a book written in 1926 by Manly P. Hall, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. The 4 ciphers are intuitive. The alphabetic order, A is 1 up to Z is 26. You see Mike Waltz equals 120 in that cipher. So does Illuminati. And he's been in the news all day on the Illuminati's birthday. The Illuminati's international, just like the United Nations. He got dropped from his place in the cabinet and moved to the UN ambassador, the United Nations. Again, it's a long story, but it was created in a major Jesuit ritual, just like it was a Jesuit, Adam Weishaupt, who founded the Illuminati in the time of the Jesuit suppression. But anyway, his name is also 51 in these base ciphers. Again, the base ciphers are the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. The reverse alphabetic order. The alphabetic order with numerology applied and the reverse alphabetic order with numerology applied. We're going to get to how all of these matter in regards to the death of the singer today, Jill Sobule. And I might be saying her last name wrong, but you know who I'm talking about. Anyhow, Mike Waltz has the 51, just like Adam Weishaupt, and that's the founder of the Illuminati, who founded on May 1st, 5-1, or 1-5, however you want to write it. But his name corresponds with the date, just like Mike Waltz, and this is nothing new. This goes on every day, Illuminati's birthday or not, but this ritual is super obvious. So the singer who's dead, who reportedly burned up in a house fire. And remember, at the start of the year, I made 3 predictions about this year. I said there'd be a lot of plane crashes. There has been. Plane crash equals 97, which is the 25th prime. The news has been saturated with plane crashes. 97 is the 25th prime, is 2025. I said fires and floods will probably be worse this year. Fire has the 25. The year started with LA burning. There's way more floods this year than average. We just covered that back in the middle of the month when the news said there's like been 400 more floods this year than an average year. Anyway, fire, flood, 25. Again, if you're saying, well, how can this be possible? Look into the history of the Jesuits, a.k.a. the Illuminati. It's not an accident that the first act of weather warfare was admitted to on their birthday in 1952, August 15th. But today's the Illuminati's birthday. August 15th is the Jesuit birthday. These orders are related, as we'll cover redundantly. Anyhow, if you put a "the" in front of the word Illuminati, the Illuminati, it's 153. You know that number from the Bible. Here, just to make a point. Holy Bible also equals 153. The Jesuits served the Catholic Church. You might recall the Da Vinci Code connecting the Illuminati and the church. Again, it's more than a movie. Holy Bible, 153, like the Illuminati, and also, for the record, just like Jesuit order. Okay, so the Illuminati, 153 and 63, the woman who's dead on the Illuminati's birthday, her name has the 153 and 63. Her hit song, I Kissed a Girl, not to be confused with Katy Perry's song. And we're going to look at how there seems to be a Katy Perry connection as well, because Katy Perry did the even bigger hit by the same title 13 years later. The original one came out in 95. The Katy Perry version came out in 2008. 13 years, kind of interesting because the Illuminati was founded with 13 families. And for those of you guys who follow my work, you might recall what happened to me. As an experiment, I decided to go out to Seattle. I'm up here in the Pacific Northwest. I did it a number of times. I said, you know what? I'm going to try going out to Seattle on the day leaving 201 days left in the year and educate about Event 201. If you don't know what Event 201 is, again, it was the simulation of the COVID pandemic right before the outbreak in Wuhan, China, on the same day the military World Games began in Wuhan, China. It was called Event 201. It was put on by a Jesuit, Klaus Schwab, might as well say an Illuminati member. But anyway, if you remember what happened that day, when I got out there, before I could even get my speaker set up, I had my camera already going, so it's all captured on camera. But this guy came out and he said, just so you know, I'm going to be out here all day drowning you out. He goes, you see that setup over there? He had a table with a laptop and this massive speaker. I stayed out there for like 10 hours that day. He stayed out the whole time, and he was true to his word. He drowned me out the whole time on his speaker. But the reason I'm bringing this up is the first song he drowned me out with was Katy Perry's I Kissed a Girl. And it was just like, okay. On the day leaving 201 days left in the year, it's the first song he's going to drown me out with out of all the songs he could have chosen. Again, highly ritualistic. And who paid that man to be there all day and do that and bring that like stadium speaker setup out? If you guys are new here, I'll go out to Pike's Place Market, the tourist attraction in Seattle, and set up a speaker myself on the corner there and educate about what's going on in the world, as much as people don't want to hear it. And again, this is a hard topic to educate about because most people think if they didn't learn it in slave school, it doesn't matter. But again, the practice of coding numbers into words is ancient and it's Kabbalistic. And again, the people at the top are into Cabala. Freemasonry is based in Cabala. They etch on the Masonic temple all as number. Anyway, notice that her birthday is January 16th. We're also going to get to how there's a supermodel who has the same birthday as her, who was also at the pinnacle of her career in 95, the year of her big year, the singer's big year. But this woman died 105 days after her birthday. And again, Order of Illuminati, 105, 201, just like the Jesuit orders 201. Remember in history, the founder of the Illuminati, Adam Weishaupt, he died 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment. He died November 18th, 1830. And interesting date, November 18th, because that's the 322nd day of the year, and Skull and Bones at Yale's modeled after the Illuminati. They call themselves Order 322, and again, 322 gains significance in a lot of things, including Genesis 322, which mentions the tree of life, the physical model for Cabala, which has 3 pillars and 22 paths. But okay, this is the beginning, right? This is just her part. Again, where her name fits in with the Illuminati. The Illuminati's title was eventually called Order of Illuminati, which has this 201 connection, just like the Jesuit order. And if you're new here, the Jesuits have a long history of 201, including the first Jesuit pope who just died, Pope Francis, being the first to live in Suite 201. His name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, equating to 201, just like the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola, equating to 201. There's so many 201s with the Jesuit history, it's crazy. And again, you just saw Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope, died 201 days after the man he's named after, St. Francis of Assisi. And for the record, his name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, in addition to equaling 201, equals 111, like he died on the 111th day of the year and then was buried on a Saturday, going with his Saturnalia birthday. We're going to bring Saturn into this as well. The Grim Reaper has a 30-year cycle, Saturn, and this woman's dead 30 years after her hit song. Tomorrow will literally be the 30th anniversary. The Grim Reaper's scythe comes from Saturn. But anyway, just understand this 201 thing is massive. It gains its significance in Hebrew, gematria, practice coding numbers into words in the Hebrew alphabet. It represents enlightenment and Illuminati, in the light, in the knowledge, to the occult. Light is knowledge. Remember, in the 16th century, when the Jesuits were created, the heliocentric model was agreed to. Heliocentrism equates to 201, the model that says the sun's at the center of it all, the thing that illuminates the world. But okay, again, that's her piece. Supposedly burned up in a house fire. That's the story. And again, her big breakout song, she died one day before the 30th anniversary. And then her other big song came out later that year on the Clueless soundtrack. And I remember every girl my age loved that movie, Clueless. But I Kissed a Girl came out May 2nd. And then Supermodel came out later in the year on July 18th. Date that can be written 18/7. That's another very special number, 187. It's connected to homicide. The formal title, The Jesuit Society of Jesus equals 187. The alias for Skull and Bones, Brotherhood of Death's 187. But anyway, her big songs in 95, May 2nd, July 18th. Notice how Supermodel also equals 52, right? That's the name of the other hit song. And notice how Supermodel and Housefire overlap. They both have the 47 and 52 connection. The special number pairing. Time equals 47. We have a 52-week calendar times the ultimate authority. Authority equals 47 and 52, like government. Also, words like president and White House equal 47 and 52. Republican, et cetera, et cetera. Democrat has the 47, but not the 52. So anyway, the biggest supermodels of 95 were Naomi Campbell, Cindy Crawford, Christy Turlington, Claudia Schiffer. Again, she's the one that stands out the most. German. And again, it's 249 days after her birthday in light of the Illuminati turning 249 years old today. Linda Evangelista. I don't remember her, honestly. She's a model I don't remember. I turned 12 in 95. Kate Moss, Tyra Banks. I remember all these models, but Linda, maybe if anyway, I know, I remember all those women except for her. So, and who I really remember is Heidi Klum. And I think Heidi Klum might have got a little bit more famous a year or two later. I think she was the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model for 98. Because I remember when I was a teenager, I was like, woo, I need to grow up someday and marry Heidi Klum. She's also German. And she's about to turn 52 this year. Anyway. Naomi Campbell has a birthday later this month. She will turn 55 years old. Cindy Crawford turned 59 at the beginning of this year. Christy Turlington turned 56. Claudia Schiffer will turn 55 later this year, meaning she's 54 right now. But notice, from her birthday to today, 249 days. And her birthday can be written 25/8. Order of Illuminati also equates to 258. We're going to hit all of the Order of Illuminati values in this decode. Again, the 4 base ciphers, they're all going to factor in to this news today. So she's got the 25/8 birthday. She's 54 right now and German. Again, the Illuminati was founded in Bavaria, which equates to 54 in 2 of the 4 base ciphers. There's only so many words. Like, another word that has 54 and 2 ciphers is baseball. And if you know baseball, there's 54 outs in a game. And you see how baseball is also 162 in reverse. Like, there's 162 games in a season, and there's 18, like the number of half innings. And just for the record, even when you write out Major League Baseball, it's also 162 forwards. MLB even has the 54. Anyway, remember, all the American sports are credited to Masons. And Adam Weishaupt, when he founded the Illuminati, said he wanted to infiltrate and take over Freemasonry, which I think they did. Doesn't mean everybody at the Blue Lodge level's in the Illuminati, but people up at the top. people in world governments and world banking and top of corporations, et cetera, et cetera. World Economic Forum types like Mark Carney, Canada's new prime minister. He won the 45th election 45 days after becoming the interim, beating the 45-year-old challenger Pierre. Anyway, this is just jumping out to me in a big way. It's going, wow. And if you don't know, Jesuit orders also 54. Again, the Jesuits, Adam Weishaupt, the Jesuit, created the Illuminati in Bavaria. The Jesuit headquarters is the Church of the Gesù, Building 54. That's in Italy. So many 54 rituals with the Jesuits as well. The word sun, S-U-N, equals 54. That's their logo. That's what the Catholic Church really worships. Catholic Church that gave us the calendar and the language at the same time in the 16th century. Again, English was created as a 26-letter alphabet with the spellings we use today. At the same moment, the Jesuits implemented the Gregorian calendar in tribute to the Pope. And that's why it's so obvious they're behind this. And again, the Illuminati is an extension of the Jesuits created in the time of their suppression. The Linda, actually, when I look at her photo there, I'm like, actually, I do remember her. I want to say she was maybe even in some movies. I do recognize that face. I guess I just didn't know her name. Linda, is it Evangelista? It's like evangelist with an A. Her birthday is 10/5. Now that I look at it, it's got that 105 thing. Kate Moss has the same birthday as the singer, but 15 years younger. Kind of like the Illuminati's birthday is the first day of the 5th month. Remember, Illuminati equals 120, like Mike Waltz. 120 is the 15th triangular number. Again, here's the singer right here. January 16th, 59. Heidi Klum's going to turn 52 June 1st. They better not touch Heidi. They better not touch any of these ladies. But honestly, this is how these people work. Again, if you're new here, stop and listen to the songs Murder by Numbers by the Police from 1983 about how killing's the sport of the elite. The word murder equals 83. That song came out in 83. It's about how killing is as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3. It talks about, if you get a taste for killing, why not try a twosome or a threesome? Not in regards to a sexual experience, but murdering people in pairs and triplets. We see these celebrity deaths, how they're themed together when you're actually paying attention. So I'm saying, a singer who had a breakout year in 95, whose 2 big hit songs were I Kissed a Girl and Supermodel. So right away I'm thinking, okay, a supermodel who had a big year in 95. I thought I would look, and it only took a few minutes. I said, wow, look how it lines up with the German one. You know what I mean? So yeah, Claudia Schiffer, if you're out there, be careful. If you have any people come around that you haven't seen in a minute, be careful what they might put in your drink. But Heidi Klum, you never know too. German, about to turn 52. 95 wasn't exactly her year though, so maybe she's safe. Tyra Banks, better look out, because we know they love to pick on darker complected people the most, and she's gonna turn 52 at the end of this year. December 4th will be her 52nd birthday. And then with regards to Katy Perry, like I said, she put out the song I Kissed a Girl 13 years after the other singer. The Illuminati was founded with 13 families. Notice from her birthday to this singer's death is 188 days. I forgot to put the screenshot in here. But in the most simple cipher, Bavarian Illuminati is 188. And that's what it was initially called. And then the name was changed to Order of Illuminati. But the 188 is interesting because those are the US dollar bill denominations when they're sum. The 1, the 2, the 5, the 10, the 20, the 50, the 100. You add them all up, it equals 188. And there's Illuminati symbolism all over the dollar bill. So, celebrity is money. A lot of these people are selling their soul for the fame and the wealth. And Katy Perry, still relevant, still making music. Some people think she's John Benet Ramsey. I can't remember what magazine. It was like a decade ago. It took a shot at like all these conspiracy websites that said she was John Benet Ramsey. I actually did a post about it at the time, and I didn't say that it was a firm conclusion, but I just had some observations that made it interesting. And I got mentioned in that article. I was like, hey, I didn't even say that that was necessarily true. I just pointed out what was interesting. I forget what magazine it was that critiqued that. Nothing would surprise me if that actually is John Benet Ramsey. I wouldn't be shocked. If you throw a "the" in front of it, the Bavarian Illuminati is also 95, just like how 95 was the breakout year. What year was the John Benet Ramsey thing? Just out of curiosity, I forget. When did that happen? I was a kid. Okay, it was a big story the next year. It was actually 96. I knew it wasn't too far off from that, though. It happened on Sol Invictus Day, Christmas. Okay. So again, 95, it's the 30th anniversary. And if you look into Saturn, it has a 30-year return. Notice how Order of Illuminati and Saturn overlap. They both have the 93. Again, Saturn is connected to death, judgment, time. And the Grim Reaper's scythe comes from the sickle of Saturn, its astrological symbol. So, and just for the record about Saturn, if you write out Saturnian order, it has the 93 in it. Oh, look at this. You see how Saturnian order is 177, 69, 201? So is the Jesuit order. The exact same thing. 177, 69, 201. Remember, the first Jesuit pope was Pope Francis, born on December 17th, which is Saturnalia. Every year we talked about the 201 sacrifices for him. They'd happen on May 30th, 201 days before his birthday, and July 6th, 201 days after his birthday. Every year, like clockwork. And anyhow, the Saturnian order, again, has the same values. Do you see the 69 and 93? Look at Saturn. 69, 93. Look at Illuminati. It's 69, whereas Order of Illuminati is 93. If you write out sacrifice to Saturn, it's also 201. And if you write out Saturn worship, it's also 201. And what else is it noteworthy is Saturn worship is 78 and 66. The singer's dead at 66, and she's dead 78 days before the anniversary of Supermodels release, which was July 18th, 95. And notice Saturn worship's also 150 like Illuminati is. Order of Illuminati 93, Illuminati 150. The sun, the thing that illuminates the world, is 93 million miles away or 150 million kilometers away. And it's like how heliocentrism has the 150 in it and the 201. Order of Illuminati 201, Illuminati 150. You see the 69 as well, also like Illuminati. It's also 75 like Catholic Church, like Roman Catholic. In the 16th century, the Jesuits, the heliocentric model. Catholic Church began by worshiping the sun. In 274 AD is when Sol Invictus was created on Christmas Day. And the Jesuit logo is the sun with IHS for Isus Hominum Salvator, which again equals 274. When you run it in reverse, 266. Like Pope Francis was the first Jesuit, the 266 Pope. The 122 is also like Pope Francis, and on and on and on. And if you were said, well, what about the 85? The word Templar is 85. The Templar cross is in their logo as well. That's why after 2 towers became 0 before they became 1, we invaded the Middle East on the day leaving 85 days left in the air, and Bush, who was a Skull and Bones member, which is modeled after the Illuminati, called it a crusade. And not to mention, Skull and Bones gets their symbolism from how the Templars buried their dead in an ossuary. Death symbolism. And just speaking of 93 and death symbolism, I remember science said that Jesus' crucifixion is April 3rd. They said that in 2012, the 93rd day of the year. Crucifix is 93, like God's son. like Nazareth. Sumerian gematria, where you multiply the alphabetic order times 6. Christianity's 930. Protestant Bibles, Matthew 1, the beginning of the Christian sections, the 930th chapter. The Son of God, the Sun 93 million miles away. I mean, just think about it. The Illuminati, like the ones who handpick the parts of your Bible and translate it the way they wanted to create a spiritual belief system for a people meant to be ruled over. Turn the other cheek, give Caesar what's his. Yeah. Anyway. I don't know if any of the girls in Clueless did any modeling. Just the way these people work, it's like the celebrity deaths. There's it's like a chain. There's connections. It's a web. Remember the Svengali, the word for the evil hidden hand in the entertainment industry? They use a spider to symbolize it because of the web. Svengali has a lot to do with all this celebrity death in entertainment. And by the way, just the way this stuff works, tonight, the Knicks closed out their series in the 88th game. That's what we thought they would do. Where are they at? The Knicks closed out the Pistons tonight in their 88th game of the year, 82 games in the regular season. This was the first series of the playoffs. They closed out in game 6. Who just died for the Knicks at 88? Mr. Dick Barnett. And where did he go to school? He went to school at Fordham, same place Trump went to. Trump's Mr. 88. Fordham's the 88 University. Even where the Knicks typically play, this game was on the road in Detroit. They closed out the series 4-2 on the 42nd parallel in Detroit, where the sitcom Martin is set, where he lived in apartment 42, not to mention Martin equals 42, number stamped all over Black history like Jackie, which also equals 42. But yeah, again, the death of Barnett signaled that this series would end in game 8. And yeah, I've been talking about Fordham, the 88 school, for a long time, and add this to the collection. Dick Barnett, Knicks legend, educator, and Fordham grad, dead at 88. Next thing you know, it's just days later, Knicks advance in the 88th game. Yeah, it's wicked. Stuff goes on every. I was gonna say goes on. This stuff goes on almost every day. I mean, almost every day there's another example to look at, and somehow, after being here for almost 12 straight years, exposing it every day, the world just, I don't know how the world doesn't catch on in the information age. Been a long time now since we called Prince's death. That was back in 2016. You thought the whole world would have caught on after that, but yeah. Anyhow, since we are talking about the dead singer, I'll read an article about her passing. Again, don't quote me on the pronunciation of the last name. I know I got the Jill part down, but is it Sobule? Is it Sobule? I knew a girl named Boulay in high school, and it was spelled similar, so I'm thinking this is Sobule, but maybe not. We'll just say Jill S., singer-songwriter of groundbreaking 95 song I Kissed a Girl, dies in house fire. And Jill S., the groundbreaking singer-songwriter and activist whose 95 song I Kissed a Girl is widely considered the first openly gay-themed song to crack the Billboard Top 20, died in a Minneapolis house fire early Thursday morning. Her rep confirmed. And I should have mentioned this. I call Minneapolis the 93 city. Minneapolis, Minnesota equals 93. It's on the 93rd Meridian West. That's its coordinate. Remember the other year, the crazy game on Saturn in the NFL between the Colts and the Vikings with the record comeback? Again, that was the first game of Saturnalia. And again, these things are going over most people's head. It was the record 33-point comeback. But yeah, that was a nice little Saturnalia joke. Saturn's 30-year return, Minneapolis. House fire early Thursday morning. Her rep confirmed she was 66. Jill S.'s unusually diverse three-decade 12-album career included that song as well as Supermodel from the film Clueless, and more recently the Drama Desk-nominated autobiographical musical Seventh Grade, which enjoyed 4 theatrical runs in 3 years. It's funny, I hated 7th grade too. I had a teacher whose name was Miss Nice, and it was the most misleading name ever. Her name should have been Miss Bitch. The original cast recording of the show is set to be released on June 6th. And she's dead at 66. God. June 6th, alongside a special 30th anniversary reissue of her self-titled album, which features I Kissed a Girl and Supermodel. I wonder if now that she's dead, of course that's going to sell more records because death sells. I'm wondering if now that she's dead, if there's some clause in there where the record company keeps more of the money. Wouldn't be surprised. Probably just pulled out a life insurance policy on her as well. You remember when the Cranberries were about to go back on tour and then the singer for the Cranberries is just found dead in a bathtub? Like it's Jim Morrison. Like this doesn't happen all the time. How many more stories have there been like since just like that since the Cranberries one? That wasn't even the most recent one, but I remember certain ones more than others because year I was playing American Legion baseball, my coach was obsessed with the Cranberries, and just every practice was just Cranberries blasting. And then the other band he liked was White Zombie. That's what it's called, right? White, more human than the human. Yeah, we were either listening to the Cranberries or White Zombie, one of those two. All right. Hold on. TMZ usually breaks the news before anybody. TMZ's like Jake Gyllenhaal and Nightcrawler. Half the time I think they take these people out. That's why they're the first to break it. The singer-songwriter died Thursday in a house fire in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Her manager, John Porter, told TMZ. Let's see if there's any information on this John Porter guy. John Porter. I don't know if this is the same one. Musician and record producer. What did it say? Could be her manager. His birthday is September 11th. That's when New York Fashion Week begins this year regarding models. I don't know if it's the same person, though. Jill S. was a force of nature and human rights advocate whose music is woven into our culture, he said in a statement. I was having so much fun working with her. I lost a client and friend today. I hope her music, memory, and legacy continue to live on and inspire others. Jill also performed Supermodel from the hit movie Clueless, starring Alicia Silverstone, Paul Rudd, Brittany Murphy, Donald Faison, Breckenmeyer, and Stacey Dash. Stacey Dash is the cute one, right? Let me see. Yeah, Stacey Dash. I forgot about her. Alicia Silverstone's the bigger star. Alicia Silverstone. She's 48 right now, like the word Illuminati's 48. Got an October 4th birthday. That's the day leaving 88 days left in the year. Today's the 121st day of the year, so it's 121 plus 88. 209. 209. She had a show scheduled for Friday night at Swallow Hills Music Tough Theater in Denver, her hometown. You know, Colorado, a lot of death connected to Colorado, and it's because it's the 38th state, and it equals 38 and 83, and 43, actually. Notice how Murder has the 38 and 83, just like the song Murder by Numbers came out in 83, and the movie poster for Murder by Numbers codes 8338 into the title of the film. And then Colorado has the 43 like killing. And again, it is the 38th state in order of statehood, and death is 38. Fire's 38 as well. Dead in a fire. Oh, she's dead in a fire in Minnesota. Minnesota's 38. Remember how they did George Floyd dirty on the corner of 38th Street? 201 weeks after a Dame Traore who was killed on the 201st day of the year. And again, their names were protested together. And then several other 201 rituals spiraled out of George Perry Floyd, including January 6th. And the two events were compared. She had a show. Yeah, okay. Swallow. Makes me think of Bush. Bush was big around 95. Gwen Stefani used to be with, what's his name? Gavin Rossdale, the singer Bush. They had the big song Swallowed. She released 12 albums over a 3-decade career in Hollywood, and she created a critically acclaimed autobiographical musical, F, 7th Grade. Jill also did the theme song for the Nickelodeon show Unfabulous. I don't know about that one. The last time I watched Nickelodeon, I was probably like 5 years old. It was the show where they dumped the green slime on everybody. There will be a formal memorial celebrating her life and legacy later this summer. Per John, she is survived by her brother and sister-in-laws, James and Mary Ellen S., and her beloved nephews, Ian, Matthew, and Robert's wife, Irina. She is also survived by numerous beloved cousins and countless friends. I guess there's a number of other deaths I've missed out on here recently. Mike Peters, singer for the Alarms, dead at 66. What is the other 66? Is it rock and roll? Is that what it is? You have to spell it out correctly. Rock and roll, 66. And 51, like May 1st. Okay. Singer Johnny Tillotson, dead at 86. No one's going to question that. But again, Blood Sacrifice and Human Sacrifice, 86. Youngbloods frontman Jesse Colin Young, dead at 83. Murder, 83. No one's going to question that. American Idol contestant Doug Kiker, dead at 32. Jesus. Are all these recent? The American Idol contestant died on the anniversary of Pope Francis, or at least the news broke that day. I missed all these stories. I'll have to go back and look at all of them. Mike Peters just died. The Youngblood singer was in March as well. Okay. With Sweet Girl, I miss more headlines than I used to, but yeah. Supermodels beware. And it is wild how well it lines up with Claudia Schiffer. So hopefully nothing happens, but you know how these people work. Again, if you got here late, quick cliff notes. The singer who's dead today, her hit songs were I Kissed a Girl and Supermodel. And, her being dead at 66 as well. And, just the word woman is 66. She's a woman. You associate supermodels and I Kissed a Girl with the feminine. But yeah, again, she's dead on the one day before the 30th anniversary of her breakout song. Again, 30 is related to Saturn. Saturn's related to the Grim Reaper. And her other song is going to turn 30 later this year on July 18th. So in light of it being Supermodel, I just thought I'd look at the big supermodels who were at the pinnacle of their career in 95. Claudia Schiffer was one of them, who's from Germany, near where the Illuminati was founded 249 years ago today. And today just happens to be exactly 249 days after her birthday, which is the 25th day of the 8th month, which also has a sync with the Illuminati. So Pretty wild. Pretty wild, but also pretty par for the course. But yeah, because I streamed earlier today, I am going to keep this broadcast short and sweet. And it does seem that the more I grind one way or another, the more the algorithm punishes. Yeah, the last week and a half of last month doing these late streams, trying to build up the podcast catalog. A lot of financial support fell off. And it's like, are these people actually like quitting the work because they don't like the podcast? Or is it the machine again knocking people off? Because that's the way it feels. It feels like the harder you work at trying to expose the truth, there's more consequences for it. So anyway, hold on. We got somebody phoning in right now. I'll take one call and then I'll wrap this up. What's up, 480?
Hey, what's up? You put I kissed a girl in the calculator, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see that part in there.
Okay.
The one on there.
All right, yeah.
Okay. All right.
You can tell he wasn't listening to the stream because, yeah, I told the story of what happened when I was in Seattle when the dude was paid to be out there drowning me out all day with the speaker, playing I Kissed a Girl at full blast on the day leaving 201 days left in the year. So, yeah, I think I'll keep it short and sweet tonight. And if you missed the stream earlier today, I did do an earlier broadcast. Like I said, I wasn't going to do one tonight, but then I saw this headline and I thought, God, these people. Man, I don't know. It is frustrating, though, doing these videos that should be seen by a lot of people and looking at the terrible, terrible numbers they get. So, anyway, keep grinding, and maybe more than grinding, I just need to figure out the right way to go about this, because even though I'm doing what I'm used to, it's not the right way to go about it. The numbers are just horribly awful. All right, you guys, thanks again, and appreciate everyone who hits the like and the share. And until next time.